My parents had the company in our basement home, and so it was a Rhoni come downstairs, Curtis come downstairs. After school, we worked a little bit. On the weekends, definitely we worked. And I think that aspect, always seeing either my mother downstairs working, my father definitely gone working, driving a truck, coming home, and then them discussing whatever they need to do. So, we grew up in an atmosphere where you stayed active and you worked. And that's what you did to maintain, get ahead, and, create a vision or whatever that looked like. I don't really remember if I got paid or not, but I did get paid on the truck. My dad would allow me to lift a load, dump a load, and I got $5 every load. So I really enjoyed going to work. I am motivated by a desire to have more for my family. I have a daughter. I had her at 18, single parent, and I learned quickly there were two people that I could depend on, myself and my dad. And the only way I was gonna be able to take care of my daughter was by going to school and going to work and being able to make some money and creating the opportunity for her to have a different future than I had. I heard my parents constantly talking about creating different opportunities for myself and my brother. And at the point, when I had my daughter, it changed to, Rhoni, you have to create different opportunities for your daughter. It's like a no-brainer. The point of doing what we do is to have different opportunities for the next generation. I definitely work as hard as I do now because I have grandchildren. And I now want them to have different opportunities. I want them to see different possibilities earlier and sooner in life. In 2004, I did do a name change to reflect what I care about, which R is Rhoni, L is Leon, which is my brother's middle name, and Cole stands for my daughter's middle name, Nicole. I think names mean a lot, and when anybody says the name R.L. Cole, whether they know it or not, I know what it stands for. And everything that I operate and how we operate, how I move, I want it to be about, what's valuable to me, and that's our name. Everything's in a name. One of the programs that the Urban League had was a construction accelerator program. The involvement with that program, for one, we were in a cohort with other like-minded people, other businesses trying to obtain as much knowledge as we can, with the goal to push us forward. There are, I guess I would say, facilitators or mentors or presenters that, come in and talk about various topics. But I think the big important walk away from having them in front of the room, that's the presenters in front of the room, is that you're talking to people who have run a business or have worked in a capacity of operating a business. And, they're talking about, some of the struggles that they had and some things that we need to focus on to overcome. So ideally, you're building relationships with them. You're building relationships with, people within your cohort. And, that program also aligns us and gives us a platform to talk with anchor institutions here in Cleveland, i.e. Cleveland Clinic, Bedrock, the Browns. And I think those institutions, those anchor institutions, have a different understanding and appreciation for the importance of inclusion and diversity and why these programs are important. So those institutions are walking into this program with the desire to help female and minority companies gain opportunities to platforms that we may not otherwise have. Additionally, working with this program, they are also knowing and aware that we too are trying to get to a different standard. So just, having the platform to talk with Bedrock, to build relationships, to talk with the Browns. When you have that platform and you're in the rooms with them, you become motivated and encouraged. And at the same time, they are learning about your business and they're learning about what drives you. And, just that connection should lend you opportunities to increase your business in different areas. The services that ROCO provide, we supply aggregate and limestone, gravel, mulch, salt, sand, and we also haul that to our customers on various projects in the city of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and a few of the surrounding areas. We've been doing that forever, so that's what we do. We move dirt. The last few years, I would say almost maybe 8 years, we've moved into receiving spoils. We have a clean field yard, and at that yard, we receive clean spoils. Ideally, we would like to sell those. That way, we can continue to do that process over and over again. So the type of customers that we need to sell that material back to would be like developers, landscapers, and just again on general projects in the city and in Cuyahoga County. We also recently just purchased a warehouse, and in trying to determine how we could use the warehouse, we were engaged in a contract with the Guardians. We are working in a mentor protege capacity with a larger company to learn how to warehouse inventory, transport it, and then at the same time later install it. So I'm very excited for that. That is the second leg that we have in scaling our business. And so just super excited that there are different things that we are learning to do, that we're having an opportunity to grow and excel here in Cleveland. I started attending some of the classes at the Urban League. There was a lot of, I guess the best way I can explain it would be like tutorial opportunities where they were helping the small business owner engage, work through some of the struggles that they were having. And I was very excited to see that these opportunities existed because some of the things that the new business owners were having today, I know my parents struggled with. You know, I definitely remember conversations that they would have around the kitchen table where they would talk about going into meetings and being pushed out the door. Some of the responses they were getting, asking other entities for help, they weren't getting the help. And, here is the Urban League, an institution, kind of walking some small business owners step by step through processes to help them get to the next step, whereas before it was like a done deal, you're not going further. So that just made me happy. Even though in some situations I knew some of the knowledge, it was a refresher. And it also told me that I need to re-engage in certain ways and go back and start some of the business practices that we've been doing, some practices that we stopped doing for whatever the reason may have been. And these are the action steps that I need to be taking so I can move my business forward. My dad, Curtis, works primarily in the field. He manages all the trucks. His goal is to make sure our customers are receiving the appropriate top service on each project. And of course, we have to manage the trucks to determine which truck would ideally give each customer what they're looking for. My dad interacts with the customers daily. Interacts with our drivers as well as our brokers, making sure that they're staying on task. If there's any concerns, he's addressing that. Him and I are frequently communicating, looking at the various needs that, each project is being tasked with. A lot of times I spend a lot of time looking at possible bids that we can bid on and solicit to, identifying what customers I need to contact, trying to work and build relationships. Always focusing on learning what my customers want and then how we can be responsive to that and meet their needs. What I've learned about being in business is not necessarily about doing the things the way that you want to do them, but learning your craft and learning what the customer wants. The one thing that I do that is the way that we want is to try to provide the best service that is in line with the way I was raised. The Urban League had different programs that kind of fit my needs, and I just, signed up. I was asked to sign up, and one thing about me, if it's something that's gonna help increase my knowledge personally and professionally, I wanna be a part of it, and if it's something that's gonna help my business increase and diversify, I too want to be a part of it. I think the Urban League had a lot of opportunities for RLCO to begin to grow in a strategic, different type of fashion. A few of the areas that we began working on together with the Urban League, looking at my financials, understanding my financials. You can look at them as reports and, you look at the totals, the bottom line, but until you truly understand how they affect each other and how an income statement affects the balance sheet and cash flow and how they work together, you won't have the opportunity of understanding how you need to market your business and you won't begin to start thinking about the future, about the trends and the ebb and flows and how all that connects to each other. Because I don't have a background in finance or accounting or even, academically business, those things were very important for me. Even though we've been operating a business and I've been around it by conversations, of course, with my parents, I did not understand a lot. And, I know how to do things, but do I understand how to do them? So, now I can say I definitely have a better understanding of the financial statements and how they are sort of like a call to action within your business. There are times that I definitely go out to the sites to just be present, see what's going on, and that also gives me an opportunity to learn the field. I ask questions. One of the things that I do most is ask people questions. And so then I'll come back and I'll talk to my dad about what I've seen. The other thing I'll do, going on sites, I like to, if there's a customer that I can come in contact with, I think it's important that they see that we visit the jobs that we're on. I want to make sure that they are aware and that they know that we are interested in, what they are doing, and also that we want to still be engaged so we can give them the service that they're looking for. The best piece of advice that I received from the Urban League, their team, their staff, I don't think I could really truly say one thing. Have your team of advisors. We all know your lawyer, your accountant, and whom else you tend to go to for critical information. I've always heard, through college about the whole SWOT approach, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I definitely struggle identifying some of those. And so again, working with the Urban League, my advisor really helped me pin down, and we looked at a lot. And I identified my strengths and I identified my weaknesses. And the goal when we looked at the weaknesses was focusing on, what can you change? How to change those, how to target those, setting realistic expectations within that change. So, okay, I don't need to be a 10. If I get to this point, that's good. But the key right there is also, learning when you need to delegate and reach out to people for help. So, the point is everything doesn't have to be done by Rhoni, and being okay with that. Being comfortable with seeking advice. And I think that may be the biggest change factor for my business and for a lot of businesses, just realizing it doesn't completely start and stop with you. I absolutely would recommend the Urban League to any small business owner, any business owner. Sometimes when you get in a program or you get acquainted or affiliated with the organization, you may not really know what you need to do. So sometimes you have to trust the people that you're around. I think they're an organization that you can trust and trust them to help guide you to the next level. I do believe that there's enough programs to choose from that you can find your beginning, your starter niche. And sometimes that's what it is. And when you allow the people at that agency to get to know you and know, where your weaknesses are, and you get familiar with them and them familiar with you, they can guide you to areas that, you may not think that you fit in. When you put yourself around good people that are trying to do more and that are working their business and or have something to add to you, at times you sometimes have to trust their vision even for you. There's a lot of opportunity that I have today, and that is because of the activities and the programs that are housed at the Urban League.